All right, guys, welcome back to episode 6 of Satisfactory 1.0 playthrough nuclear power facility. We've got facility number 1, 2, 3. Everything's ready. As you can see over there, we got the beautiful green glowing nuclear cell rods ready to go. And over here, we've been working on our power plants. We are live on stream right now, doing a live take. So if you want to come hang out with us, twitch.tv/MrToX mate M8. And yeah. But check it out. We've got Nuclear Frogger going on here. We just got done. I feel it's like Flappy Bird. Oh, I missed it. Look at. Ignore the miner. You guys don't see that. That's not there. Whoop. Whoop. This is our intake line that we are riding for our nuclear cell. Oh, I missed it. This is literally like a game. I should have the jetpack on. Whoa, there we go. There we go. Here we go. Perfect score. Come on. Oh, we got to make this corner. Let's go. Oh, the reverse 180 did not work out in my favor. But yeah, this is our intake line for all of the nuclear cells, and it just so happened that the tunnels that we built for the power plants it worked out. Like, it literally goes in and goes all the way down, and it's just an overflow system. So your basic manifold system, we've got 20 uranium cells per minute going on here. Oh, I missed it. I really should put the jetpack on for this, but yeah, just kind of messing around here on stream right now, and just realized after I put down all these splitters, we could have rode this, and we decided to do a little intro. So let's keep working, guys. Welcome to episode 6. We are almost there with this project. All right, guys. Mistakes were made. I assumed that plutonium pellets were used for something else, and I thought they were sinkable when we turned on the factory, and they are in fact not. So in 1.0, they changed it, so now it's a 3-step system. So we have to take the plutonium pellets to turn them into plutonium fuel rods, which is now these 40 manufacturers here, which is now taking the plutonium pellets. It takes the control rods, heat sinks, and steel beams, and it makes 1 plutonium fuel rod per minute. Well, actually, 0.25. I think it was like 10 minutes per one or something like that. Long story short, 40 of these bad boys is producing 10 per minute. So we have 10 per minute being produced. So we're making 10 more reactors over here. We're on top of the ocean, so we've got plenty of water extraction resources. We dipped down, and now we're going to dip back up, and we will have room. We will encase the bottom part of our reactors again. We'll be able to use our tunnels under here as well, but according to math that Panda's been helping me whiteboard everything, we have to do some like crazy number of extractors, although we will overclock those as well, so we're going to need a shitload more power shards. Luckily, all of tier 9 is now unlocked, so we will try to figure out how to produce power shards if we run out of those, and we will get that going. But this is where we are. So it's a 3-step phase now. So we're phase 2. We'll get the plutonium waste from these reactors, and then the plutonium waste will go to Panda just literally told me, and now I can't remember. I'm doing this YouTube segment live, if you can remind me, buddy. We're trying to get to... Small delay. Wait for it. He'll remind me in a second. Fixonium. See? He's listening. So, once you get the plutonium waste, then we can go to fixonium. And the fixonium will then make the fixonium rods. And the fixonium rods have a 0 waste output, which means we'll have clean energy, and we'll have a full true recycle system in 1.0, which is honestly fine because the 40 reactors was already not enough power when we were loading up other systems with dark matter and some other things in tier 9. So just some of the production we're going to do, so the extra 10 reactors plus whatever other reactors we'll have with the fixonium, we'll hopefully have about 200k to 300k megawatts at that point, which then should be enough to finish the endgame parts and produce those. So Nuclear facility was 100% for the most part, and then, as Panda put it nicely, it took us back down to 25%. So, if you want to look at phase 1 of the nuclear facility, now we're on phase 2 of the nuclear facility, and then we still got to do phase 3 of the nuclear facility. We're currently now at about 40% of the entire project done. So, that's where we are. We're going to continue going along here. As always, if you guys want to see all of this progress happening live, head over to twitch.tv/MrToXM8 and hang out with us while we're getting this done. But let's keep grinding. We have made some serious progress, and we've got all the belting completed in the area. We had quite the small little logistical issues here and there. Just kind of forgetting things and then testing out a couple things here and there, and we had a waste Armageddon Armageddon piling up on us. We went ahead and created the control tower on the stream, and let's go up and take a look at that, which, oops, I forgot to do the hypertube, so let me fix that real quick. Alright, now we got our hypertube finished to go to the control tower. So, up we go. Woo! Welcome to the control tower. You can see here we've got our reactor group 1, 2, and 3, and at the time of thought, it was a good thought until it wasn't. We realized on stream after the fact when we did this that switches only work basically for other operations in plants, so an example would be like a group of smelters, and you could turn the power on and off to them. But when it comes to power plants, as soon as they have their actual input, they just are on. So if we look at reactor group 1, we're already producing power in that group. We're just not presenting it to the main grid. So it works, but it doesn't. We were really hoping to backfeed all the belts and have everything fill up and then turn them on. I was really hoping that the power, it would be cool if I guess they converted that for power plants, so it made these useful for power plants. And or what would be even cooler is if they added a electrical input on, say, smart splitters that could be used as gates, that you can then, wire smart splitters up in certain ways to be able to have an open or closed gate. In any case, yeah, this is our cool little control tower, just kind of overlooking all the operations. You can go all the way around, full 360 degrees of the entire facilities. But we are ready to finally fully turn these on. Some of these are on right now because when we were testing before, we had opened the floodgates thinking we were ready, and oh boy were we not. I forgot several sections of belt, including the waste belts. So we had an entire issue of waste. We have 2 waste lines between the 40 reactors. One is like 950, and because we have the 1200 line, the other one's like 1150 because of the 3 up here. I just put all these in a row, but technically the sequence is 4 groups of 10 that are all kind of wired together with the power switches up there in the control tower. So right now what you see that is on is just the fuel rods that are remaining from when I did let everything loose, but as of right now, everything looks to be good, so we are going to go ahead and fully let all the uranium cells start getting this thing primed, I guess the word. And there it goes. So now comes the fun part. We have to monitor all the main systems supporting the power plants and kind of see. It's going to take a while for everything to fill up. Good thing we've got a big backfill going on of the uranium cells. So we should be able to pretty much fill up all of the nuclear power plants. It's going to take quite a few hours to probably fill everything up since these guys are only generating 20 cells per minute, which is exactly what each one of these take. So it's hard to say whether or not these will ever actually fully fill up, but should technically it will because I didn't use smart splitters. So it's always going to split one, so it will have to backfill. So yeah, they will be full, but it's going to take a long time before that actually happens. I did let the system obviously prime for a while, so I don't know how many are primed. I'm thinking about it now. I should have put a storage bin down here in the tower, and maybe we'll do that right this second, actually, just to kind of let the other system always have some more availability to prime. So let's do that. I'm going to be irradiated for the moment. We'll work kind of fast as we can. Get these guys back in here. Well, I'm not irradiated anymore. And we'll let... cool. That would help if I placed it right. There we go. Let's get rid of these again. Where are they at? There they are. Man, I wish I would have thought of that and let that prime the other day. But is what it is. At least now we have that option there. So we will have a surplus of cells. So yeah, this is where we are. It's time to troubleshoot and see what's going on. I will pop in and share any of the troubleshooting as it goes. But for now, we're just going to sit here and kind of monitor this entire situation. We're pretty much done. Pretty much done. Let's see what arises. Alright, it would appear that all the fuel cells have made it to their place and we see steam out of everything. So let's check our panels down here. We've got 25, 25, 25, and 25. What is kind of nice about having the panels actually is we'd be able to see discrepancies or fluctuations in the power, which would tell me that there's a problem with the reactors, and at least we'll be able to narrow down where to troubleshoot. But let's go ahead, and this is our main grid up here. Let's get this guy booted up. 84K. 112. 142. 175 megawatts. 175k megawatts. Not bad. Although, arguably, max consumption is 136, although current consumption is low. So everything else has to turn on. It's going to be interesting once the particle accelerators start to actually turn on, because we'll have to monitor their progress as well. We could see obviously all the waste is leaving and going over there. They go into the blenders that are underneath the particle accelerators, and then the non-fissile uranium comes out and fills up the particle accelerators, as well as some of the waste. About 500 of the waste is going into the particle accelerators as well. As of this moment, I don't see any running, so I don't believe those have filled up just yet. Our plant does take 2,000, or is trying to get rid of 2,000 waste per minute. I'm seeing a little bit of a backup there on that belt here, which is slightly concerning because that goes in and then it starts to feed here. So we're going to go down and start doing some troubleshooting and double check the blenders, make sure they're all filling up properly, and we'll go from there. Still in the troubleshooting phase. Alright guys, we have been working, and it doesn't look like we've got a whole lot going on here, but we just discussed the plutonium fuel rods. We've got all the plants successfully plumbed up and ready to go. We've got 10 more nuclear power plants here, which will be taking those plutonium fuel rods, and then they will be converting them into the plutonium waste, which will then go into a small system of tier 9 products. That's what this manufacturer and assembler was here for. Me and Panda were figuring out some stuff on stream in the last stream, and we've got plenty of room down here. We've already got most of the concrete laid out for it. We determined that we need some parts to come in, so instead of producing everything right here on site, we determined it would be a little bit easier to produce those parts off-site and then drone them in. The good thing is that just to get the last of the fixium for the singularity cells that we actually need, we need 1 nuclear pasta, 20 dark matter crystals, iron plates, and concrete. We've got plenty of concrete. We secured that. We've got limestone nodes up to A. Over here, we've got the 1 limestone node on standby. We've got another one over here on standby. So limestone, not a problem. Just got to belt it in. As far as the dark matter crystals, that's honestly not too crazy of a system. It seemed overwhelming at first, but when we We're really figuring out the numbers. It's not too bad. I think we need about 3 more particle accelerators, which we'll put over here on the back side of the plant where we're building everything underneath this side of the plant. And we needed some control rods, which we've got right here on a belt that come up to these manufacturers here. We'll distill a little bit from here. We did the calculations on that. We should have plenty of control rods being created here on site. And then we needed copper powder for the nuclear pasta. So I'm going to head over and show you what we did for the copper real quick. Alright, so from over at the first train station, where our one and only train is currently going back and forth from the nuclear facility, it comes over here to what I dub as our iron plant, which is now also a copper plant. So what we did was we boosted the production of the copper. Originally I had like 24 smelters here, which was like only putting out 600. We now have 54 smelters here, and we've got two 1200 normal nodes fully overclocked, and then I am bringing in another normal node through the drone right here, which brings in the remaining copper that we need, which is like, I think it's like just over 1600 or so. We go into one container here, and then we've got 2 output belts of 1200, and then I split and merge them to keep them balanced so that the 52 hungry smelters continuously give us the copper that we require. The copper is currently going out to the aluminum facility over here. So some of that copper gets used for aluminum, and then some of the copper is now being produced, the majority of the copper, just for 4 constructors over here for our copper powder. And then we've got our copper powder filling up with a copper powder drone that we will be calling in for the particle accelerator. So this guy's already almost fully loaded. I think it's 200 copper powder per minute at a requirement of 1600 copper, or no, I'm sorry, 1200 copper for 200 copper powder. So you need quite a lot of copper for copper powder with nuclear pasta. Luckily, we're only producing 1 nuclear pasta per minute is what the requirement is going to be for that singularity cell, or that fission Fixonium fuel rod, sorry. So yeah, we should be good here. The next step was we needed to get some nitrogen gas, because Wolf had originally built the fusion frames, and the facility was just kind of small numbers. He didn't have exact numbers for me, so because of that, I wanted to redo it. But in episode 6, for at least this episode, this is where we're going to call it, and we'll open up episode 7 and we'll do some minor repairs, because we're going to be doing a rehaul of our fusion modular frames, which will need modular frames, but then we're also going to need to visit our aluminum plant, and we're probably going to need to beef that guy up. So we're going to be doing a little bit of remodeling before we come back to finish stage 3 of this project for the tier 9 dark matter, and what we need to get to the Fixonium fuel rods to get the rest of this plant fully at 100. But if I had to put a percentage to it at this point, I would say we are at a solid 70% at least, minus these small little projects that we have to do. So no big deal there. We're going to do that. But for now, guys, again, you guys want to see all of this live? I'm actually live right now. By the time you're watching this, I probably won't be, but maybe I will be. Who knows? Find out yourself. Head over to twitch.tv, MrToX M8, and come hang out and ask any questions that you may or may not have. Talk some shit, talk shit on my building. I don't know, just come over. It's all fun. I welcome all of it. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for episode 6. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.